Hello everyone, we'll be walking through our solution of pair of forking assignment in C. Our program runs several tasks by using fork method to create child processes. Each child performs a different task and sends its results to the parent using communication methods, for example, pipes, shared memory, or temporary files. The parent process prints a message for creating any children and is responsible for collecting all the results and displaying the final output. Once all the children processes are finished, we will display the results and present a diagram to illustrate how the program works.
So let's get started with what the program does. When we run it, it first asks me how many child processes we want to create. The assignment says the max is 4, so we tested it with 3, 4 for now. Once we enter the number, the parent process prints its PID and announces that it's about to create the children. You'll notice that the children run in parallel, and that's why the messages from other child might come out slightly different or in a slightly different order, depending on when the OS schedules them. Each child does a different task. We just picked 3 simple mathematical tasks for demonstration. The first child calculates a factorial of 5, which is 120. The second one finds all prime numbers up to 20. And the third one generates the first 10 Fibonacci numbers. These are all basic computations, but they are different enough to show that the children are working independently. We chose math tasks specifically because they return predictable results, which made it easier to test and debug.
One important thing is that the children don't print anything themselves. That's part of the requirement. Instead, each child sends its result to the parent through a pipe. So for every child, we created a pipe before calling a fork function. Inside the child, we close the red end of the pipe and write the result string to the right end. Then the child exists. Meanwhile, the parent keeps track of all the child's PIDs and pipes. After forking, it closes the right end of each pipe and waits for the children to finish. Then it reads the result from each pipe one by one and prints out what each child did and what the result was. One thing that we ran during debugging was accidentally printing from both the child and the parent, which was not allowed. So we had to make sure all the printf functions statements inside the child were either removed or replaced with the right function calls to the pipe. Also, we initially forgot to close some of the pipe's ends, which caused the parent to hang while reading. Once we fixed that by making sure each process only kept the pipe ends it needed, everything worked smoothly.
This shows how parallelism works in C using fork, with each process doing work independently and synchronizing only at the end.
Okay, so now I'm going to show my diagram right here. And right here, this diagram shows the structure of my program and how the different processes communicate with one another. At the top, we have the main parent process. This is the process that starts everything. It asks the user how many child processes to create. And it then uses a loop to fork that many child processes, up to a maximum of 4. Each arrow pointing downward from the parent represents a call to fork, which creates a new separate child process. In my example, we created 3 children. Each child is assigned a specific task based on its index. The first child calculates the factorial of 5, the second one finds all the prime numbers up to 20, and the third one generates the first 10 Fibonacci numbers. So that's basically everything. Thank you all so much for watching.